please give me a thumbs up, a heart, or something to let me know that you can see me. Okay? And just share your name, where you're from, so I kind of know who I am talking to. I hate talking to a blank screen. Okay, let's see. Today we are going to talk about the 3 steps to creating a winning website. Okay, because now some of you may know me already. I am a business strategist and I also work on websites, which some people find strange. But while we are waiting for everyone to get on to the Facebook Live, let me just share this story. Uh, I started blogging on WordPress way back in 2008. I started a mommy blog that was quite popular back then. And because I was a techie, because I had a WordPress blog, the ex-husband asked me to create his website back in 2010. It seemed like the most natural thing for me to do. I was a techie and I'd been working with WordPress, and I thought, how hard could it be? It's just WordPress on a different platform on my own domain. And yet when I got into it, it sucked the life out of me. It was like a good 6 months of work, over 200 hours, just trying to understand how to make a business website or how to get things to work exactly the way I wanted to on WordPress. And I was a techie, and yet it was so stressful for me. And here I am teaching about business, helping them get their business started. And instead of being able to simply go out and quickly implement the strategies I tell them, I found that they more often than not got stuck with the technology. In fact, one client who signed up for very expensive one-on-one mentoring sessions with me for 3 months, she spent 5 of those 6 sessions just asking me for feedback on her sales page and asking me for help on how to tweak her sales page for the retreat. 5 out of 6 sessions, that's about $3,000 worth of consulting just on her sales page. So that's why I started talking about websites and running the website bootcamp and things like that, so that when women are ready to implement the strategies that I teach them, they don't get stuck with the tech. They don't continue hiding behind, oh, I don't have a website, I don't have the technology, I don't know how to put up a landing page together. That's why I do this. That's why I do this work. That's why I help women with websites. Okay, let me quickly check who's joining in. Hey, Tress from Melbourne. Thank you for joining me live. And people, as you come on live, please give me a heart, a thumbs up, or share your name, where you're from. Okay? Now, without much ado, let's get started. I've been faffing around for a few minutes and I find small talk really, really difficult. So let's get started. Okay? Quickly, today I'm going to talk to you about the 3 steps to creating a winning website. But before we jump into that, there is some stuff that we need to cover so that you understand why I'm talking about these steps and why these steps are important. So I'll quickly talk a bit about how most new business owners go about creating their website. And if you identify with that stuff, nod your head or give me a thumbs up. Then I will talk about a term that I use very often called the winning website. Why is it important and what you need to pay attention to on your website. After that, I promise these will be short things, just about 5 minutes each, and then we will jump into the 3 actual steps, the 3 steps that it takes to really create an awesome website. And then how do you bring it all together? How do you do all of that? Okay, I will end with a special offer. Some of you may know I run the website bootcamp, and the next live round starts on 3rd of April. So I have a very special offer for those of you who are watching live and stay till the end. Okay, and of course after that we will open it up to any question and answers about your website, about the bootcamp, whatever you want. Okay, sound good? Shall we move ahead? Give me a thumbs up, please. Let me know. I like the interaction, so let me know as you're watching it. Okay, and a quick intro for those of you who don't know me. I am a business strategist. I used to be a web designer. Even before that, I used to be a techie. I worked in semiconductor software for 13 years. And in 2014, I left the corporate world to start my own business and help other women start their own business. Today, I help women like you Turn your passion, your purpose, your expertise into a profitable online business. How? Two main channels: business strategy and websites. Okay, so that's a bit about me, and just to make sure that you are in the right place, right? A bit about you, the people who should be watching this, the kind of women I work with, and the kind of women that my work supports. Okay, I work with passion entrepreneurs, women who are in it not just for the money, but because they want to make a larger impact in the world, because they want to help other people, because they want to help transform lives. Yes, money is a very, very important part of business. It's not a business if you're not making money, right? It's just a hobby. But more importantly, it has to be beyond the money part of it. You have to love what you do, you have to be passionate about what you do. Okay, so if that's not you, if you're in it only for the money, or you are running a product based business, then this webinar is not quite for you. Why? A product based business requires a bit of different though the principles are the same, the execution for a product based website is different. You would require things that are slightly different. So if your primary work is service based, if your primary work is one-on-one or in small groups, then please join me, let's continue for the rest of the webinar. Okay, quickly now, the way most women go about creating their website is to spend weeks and sometimes months. I spent months debating about the right domain name. I did chit pulls, I tossed coins, I looked up meanings of all kinds of weird words in different languages, trying to find the perfect name for my website. And none of that worked, and I ended up with the richardjane.com. Though it sounds a bit corny at times, but I love it. So do not spend weeks and months trying to figure out the right domain. Just start with your name, because your business will change over time. The work that you do will evolve, so you don't want to be stuck with a very super specific domain name. Okay, so most women spend weeks and months on their domain name. Do not do that. Choose something, move on. The second thing they do is either they buy the cheapest hosting plan or the most expensive one and think that's good enough, right? Because they haven't quite done the homework. They don't quite understand how hosting plans work. I will talk about more about how to choose the right hosting plan later on in this tutorial or this training. 3, they jump in, and because they don't know about WordPress or Shopify or Squarespace, whichever platform they're using, they jump in and look for free tutorials and free YouTube videos and articles on how to get their website started. Now what usually happens is they get into an information overwhelm, because the internet is full of a lot of information, most of which is not relevant, some of which will make you do this when you can do this, right? And it just leaves you going round in circles. So those of you watching, have any of you been guilty of this? Okay, Tress says, okay, we have Chris, Tress, Carol. Hey everyone, thank you for joining. So have you guys done any of this? Did you spend a lot of time trying to figure out the right domain name? Or have you spent weeks and months searching the right YouTube tutorial to help you get stuff started? Okay, share in the comments, please. I like to keep it interactive. Okay. So this is how it starts. By this time it's already been a few months and you're starting to get frustrated because you're spending a lot of time trying to create your website and you still don't have anything to show for it, right? And then you decide you're going to jump all in, you're going to master that tech, you get into the WordPress backend, or you get into Squarespace, Shopify backend, and then it hits you, the tech monster. And it feels like the more you're learning, the more there is to learn. Simply getting an image up in the right place, in the right size, becomes a nightmare. You spend weeks on it. I've seen people do that. I've done that. Trying to get the right image to show up in the right way, trying to get the text to be where I want it, those kind of things. How do you get the tech to work? How do you integrate it with your PayPal, with your MailChimp, with whatever? It can be so frustrating, right? Then what happens is you ditch the tech. You say, you know what, chuck it. I'm not going to try to get everything perfect. Let me just get started with creating the pages and writing the copy. and then you will write 2 pages of worth of copy, second guess yourself, doubt yourself, wonder whether you should write this or write something else or do something else, sit on it for another few weeks, and then at the end of it, at the end of 6 months, likely you will just go and hit publish because you're so frustrated of having worked on your website for 6 months. I've seen this happen over and over and over again. In one of the live rounds of my website bootcamp, I'm getting the first or second, we had women who had been working on their website for 2 years, for 3 years, and still didn't have anything much to show for it, right? Don't do that. There are easier ways to create your website, and that's why you're on this training. I'm going to show you how to do it without all of that heartache and that frustration, okay? Okay, sorry ladies, I have a very dry throat. I'm going to be drinking a lot of water during this. Okay, Tressa says, all the tech has put her off so far. She's not at all tech savvy. Most people aren't, and even the people who are tech savvy like me. I mean, I have been writing code since like 1994, and yet when I created my first commercial website for the ex-husband's gaming lounge, it took me forever. Okay, so the reason people get stuck in all of those things that I just talked about is because they're not really clear about the purpose of their website. Okay, I like to use the term a winning website, not just any website, because most web designers or WordPress theme specialist or Squarespace or Shopify will keep telling you that they make gorgeous websites, that they make pretty websites. But a pretty website isn't enough. It's not about how gorgeous your website looks. What really matters for a business website is, does it help you sign up paying clients, right? Does it help if you're building an email list, then does it help you get hot leads or warm leads onto your email list? And does it help you sign up paying clients? That, in my opinion, is a winning website. That's what you need. You don't need another pretty website. You don't need another blog. What you do need is a website that helps you sign up paying clients. Okay. Now, the purpose behind this is twofold. Most people think that your website is primarily for your visitors, for people who come to visit your website or to check out your work, right? So that they can check out your work, get to know a bit more about you, and decide whether or not to sign up for your services. That's what most people think a website is all about. And yes, that is very true. In today's time and age, anyone who's considering working with you will go and check out your website just to vet you. Okay, so yes, it is for visitors, but it is also a very important anchor for you, especially if you are in a service-based business, because until then, your business, the packages you want to offer, your messages, it's all just ideas in your head. There is nothing concrete to show for it. Unlike a product-based business, you don't have rows of neatly stacked candles, you don't have a shop front, you don't have pretty pictures of products, right? What you have is these ideas in your head, a service that you can provide, and it's all up in the air. Creating your own website forces you to ground those things, to anchor those things, to think about, okay, what is the core message I want to get out to my audience? What is the service I'm going to offer? How do I write it down? How do I explain it to someone? It forces you to think of those things and put them into words and design on your website. So your website serves to anchor you. Now, till the time I had a crappy website in my business, I forgot to add in pictures here, but the first business website I made for myself was really crappy because I was so afraid to put myself out there. I had these photos, and where I looked, you know, my smile was like with my eyes closed and a tight grin. It was a really weird smile. And I was wearing black, and as my background I had this dirty green, and it made me feel so crappy about myself. And then when I went and created my current website, where my photos are of me smiling and actually looking into the camera, where my eyes are shining, where the color pops, it just, as soon as I had that website, I felt so different about my own business. And it's not just me, I've seen this happen with clients, the clients that I design websites for, as well as ladies in my boot camp. Once they have that website, once they see that beautiful website coming together, they feel so much better about themselves and their business. They feel it anchors them, it holds them to that vision. Because until there, it was all up in the air. So that's why it's really, really important for you to have a winning website. Yes, you could run a business off a Facebook page. Yes, you could run a business off a one-page site somewhere, free site. But when you create a website that anchors you, that embodies all that you are and all that you want to be and all the ways that you want to help people, it completely changes the way you feel. It embodies who you want to be into your business. Okay, I'm not sure if I was able to explain that right, but does it give you... Okay, Zoe says she gave up after one page of copy and threw her hands up in the air. But does this give you guys a feel of why it is important to have a website that anchors you? I hope it does. Let's move on. Okay. Now, what really goes into a winning website? There are a lot of moving pieces to it. Tech is just one of them, and yet tech is where most women stumble and fumble and get caught up and spend 90% of their time. They forget the rest of the things and end up with a website that's just not reflecting who they are, right? There are many other elements that go into creating a winning website, and we're going to move on and talk about these and show you how you can get those things done. Water break again, sorry. The temperature out here is like 40 degrees centigrade. We have a major heat wave going on, so, and where I live, it's all kind of dry, hilly area, so it's really, really hot. Pardon me, I'm going to have to drink a lot of water. Okay, so with all of these moving pieces, how do you go about creating the website the right way? What comes first? Should you write the copy first? Should you create your brand first? Should you go and install WordPress and create those pages first? What do you do, when, and how? That's what the rest of this presentation is going to be about. Okay. Now I've tried to simplify. There are, like you just saw, there are many, many moving pieces to creating a website. I've tried to simplify it into 3 core steps or 3 core areas that you need to focus on, and I'm going to describe them in the order of priority that I see them. Now, this order may not map out to the order of doing things, but priority wise, this is what you need to do. Okay. The first step, or the first and most important thing about creating a winning website, that's one that will help you sign up paying clients, is to know your target market. Now, I know some of you are nodding away that, hey, you already know your target market, but invariably, I have found that even though you think you know them, chances are high that if I start asking you those questions, those probing questions, you may not. That it will still take a lot of fine-tuning. This is the most important step for creating your website. It's not about the tech, it's not about the copy, it's about knowing your target market. And once you know them, then the copy, your graphics, etc. will all flow smoothly. You have to know them better than they know themselves. You have to know not just what they want, but what they need beyond the want. You have to know the terms that they're going to search for. What are they searching for on Google? What do they spend all of their free time reading about? What are they silently, secretly yearning for? What do they struggle with? You have to get inside their heads. You have to know them better than they know themselves. For example, I love using this example because as women, it's something that we can relate with. I am sure at some point or the other, you have thought about wanting to lose those extra 5 kilos or extra 10 kilos of weight, right? And you've probably Googled it, you've probably read up articles about it. Now, if I was a nutritionist and I talk to you about, I will help you devise a meal plan that will make you feel good, that will make you feel sexy again, etc., etc. Would you come to me? But instead, if I was a nutritionist who promised you that I can help you lose 5 kilos in 1 month without giving up your favorite foods, would you come to me then? Right? So what you want is to lose 5 kilos, and I have to give you that 5 kilos, uh, the loss of those 5 kilos. But if I give you instead that you will feel this way, that you will feel that way, that you will fit into, it's not going to work. Okay, sorry, I'm going around in circles here. Wait, I mixed this up. Let me come back to this example later, okay? Basically, you have to know your target market, and you have to remember that when you create your website, that it's not about you. Your brand, your offers, your messaging, your copy, your website, it's not about you. A lot of people spend a huge amount of time and energy creating a brand that reflects them, that is true to them, which is all fine and good. Yes, your brand has to be authentically you, but who is it for? It's for your customers. Yes, your website has to represent you, but who is it for? It's for your customers. So remember that before you start to work on your website, get really clear about your target market, your customers. I know I'm harping on this a lot because I want to talk to you about the pizza rule, which is another example that I love to use. My son, when he was 5 years old, insisted on eating just pizza, and pizza only, for breakfast, lunch and dinner. And as a concerned mom, I don't want to keep giving him pizza because it's not that nutritious. I wanted him to get veggies. I knew as a growing kid he needs veggies. I'm sure you've been there before, or you've been there too as a mom. When your child starts throwing a tantrum in the grocery store because he wants pizza or he wants something else that's not quite healthy for him. He just wants it. He wants what he wants. You can try convincing him to eat broccoli. You can try telling him to eat something that's more nutritious. He won't budge. It doesn't matter. You could give him truffles a la carte or whatever. You could give him any kind of fancy dish. He doesn't want that. He wants pizza. The same thing kind of holds for your customers. If they want pizza, give them pizza. As a mom, what I do is I make a thin crust pizza. I load it with a lot of veggies, bell peppers and broccoli and onions and a full thick layer of veggies. And then I cover that with cheese so that the veggies aren't visible. And then I give that to my son. So he gets his pizza. I get the satisfaction that he's gotten veggies and the nutrition that come with it. Now the same thing, or the same, I wouldn't say tactic, but you kind of have to do that with your customers as well. If they want pizza, give them pizza. And along with the pizza, bundle in the transformation that they need. So for example, with a mom who wants to lose 5 kilos or 10 kilos of weight, help her with that weight loss, but also help her feel good about her body, stop being judgmental about her body, feel comfortable in her own skin, feel fit into those old jeans, give her all the extra stuff that she craves for that she didn't even know that she craved for. You get what I'm saying? Make sense? Agree? Disagree? Okay, the comments seem to have paused. What do you think about the pizza rule? Have you experienced it? When people say they want something, and as soon as they say they want it, you know that they need something else completely. Right? You have to meet your customers where they are at. Your brand, your copy, your messaging, your offers have to reflect what they want in their own words, not your words, not what you think they want. Okay? So it's very important to know your target market. Know who your customers are, know what they want in their own words. Now, I'm showing you these here. A lot of the ladies who joined the website bootcamp last time around kept saying that they knew their target market, they knew what they wanted. And yet when we got in and really dug in deeper, right, there were all of these aha moments. This is really forcing me to anchor what I'm offering and how to explain it. Definitely help put my doubts regarding target market to rest. There is so much deeper work that we have to do to know our target market. Okay. So once you are clear on the target market, then you are ready to go on to the next step, which is creating your tech foundation. Now again, this is a part where I find women spend a lot of time. I have a full training on this separately, so I'm not going to get into the details here of the tech foundation. But I'm just going to briefly cover all the tech that you need to create the back end of your website. You need a domain name. Think of your domain name as your street address. It's what people use to find you on the web. It's what people use to find your website on the web. Okay? Your hosting plan is the piece of technology that actually houses your pages, your content, your photos, your copy, etc. Okay? It's where it's called a server, your hosting server. That's where the files are saved. Think of it like your house. Think of it as the house, the brick and the piece of land and the walls, etc., that contain everything or that house your stuff, your furniture, your things, your belongings, and you. Right? The platform. The platform is the tools that you use to create your website. Like, is it a WordPress a website? Is it going to be on Squarespace? It's going to be on Shopify, Wix, Weebly? What's the platform you're using? Kind of like the material you use to create your house. Are you going to use bricks and cement? Are you going to use wood? Is it going to be a prefab? Right? So a platform is kind of like the foundation to your house. What are you building the house on? Your theme and or template is a bit like the paint on the exterior of your house. How do you want it to look? Right? My favorite, if you've been following me for a while, you know that my favorite platform is WordPress. And with WordPress, I like to use the Divi theme. With Divi is a full-fledged drag and drop visual builder. It gives you the flexibility to create any kind of layout you want by just moving the mouse around and dragging and dropping visual elements in. And more so, Divi as a theme has just about everything you need. You won't need a whole lot of extra plugins or to install other bits of code or write extra bits of code to create the kind of effect you want. So all my client websites are done in Divi. Even in the website bootcamp, I install a WordPress plus Divi website for you. Okay, think of it like I said, the paint to your house. You can choose to use pink or green or blue or whatever color you want your house to be, and you can use in India we have emulsion, royal emulsion and plastic paint, and a couple of those different options. That's the theme. It's what's visible on the front end. It's what helps you create the front end of your website. Okay. Beyond that, you need the plugins. Now, plugins are pieces of code that extend the functionality of your website. For example, you would use plugins to integrate your website with MailChimp or MailerLite or Infusionsoft, whatever you're using for your email service. You would use a plugin to integrate your website with PayPal or Stripe or whatever you're using to accept payments. You would use plugins for any other extra functionality like security or backups, things like that. And lastly, there is the integrations, because it's not enough to just create a website that sits by itself. Your website should actually integrate with all of the other things that you need, like a calendar so that people can book calls with you, like a payment gateway so that people can pay you from your website itself, like your mailing service. Those things, those are all the integrations that you will need. So creating the tech foundation does take considerable amount of time. In the first round of website bootcamp that I ran, the first round was just 3 weeks, and I wanted to walk everyone through creating their complete website in 3 weeks. And yet what happened is that for a lot of women, it took about 2 weeks to just get the tech foundation right, to just install WordPress and the plugins, etc. 2 weeks out of a 3-week program. That was a big eye-opener for me. So from round 2 of the website bootcamp, I started doing the installs for everyone. Because I just have to run a couple of scripts, and it's so much easier. Then everyone has a common ground to start, and we can all start together. Like I said here, I'm just giving you a brief into the tech part of things. I have a much more detailed list much more detailed training over here. You can go and sign up. In this training, I give you in-depth information about each of these tech platforms and how you can go about installing them, etc. Go check this out. There is also a list here. Let me quickly show you this list. Just hang on a minute. Okay, here you can see this page has a complete listing of all the tech tools you could need. You can go over to this later, and anytime that you need to figure out, okay, I need to do this, what's the right tool for it, go to this page and all of the tools are listed here, so you can check them out in more detail. Okay, and let's get back to the presentation. 1 minute. Oh yeah, like I said, now these days in the website bootcamp, I install a complete website in a box for you, which includes WordPress, the plugins, 4 different styles with gorgeous pages. If you want, you can go check out the styles here. This will give you an idea of how to design your layouts, how to make them flow, how to make the copy blend in with the layouts. Okay, this link is here. You can go check it out later. So these are the a vibrant autumn theme, a calming blue ocean theme, and we also have a green pastoral and a pink strong feminine theme. You can go check them out at this link if you want to. Now, after the tech, you have to get into the front end of your website. Front end is what people see on your website. Okay, a lot of people like to call it the content, but that is such an impersonal, dumb word. It doesn't give you any idea. Content could be anything. I like to say a better way of saying it is you have to create and lead the conversation. You have to use elements of your brand, your design, your copy, your graphics to start and lead a conversation with the people who land on your website. Sorry, I forgot to check. Any questions so far? Keep sharing them in the comments and I will answer them as soon as whenever I remember to check the comments. 1 minute. Okay, before I jump into the content, let me just go back and answer these questions. Tress asks, can you use any theme on any hosting plan and platform? So if you're using, of course, WordPress theme on a WordPress hosting platform, right? Not all hosting plans and platforms will let you install WordPress. You have to check what your hosting plan is about. Okay, so if you go for a normal if you go to SiteGround or GoDaddy or Bluehost, I don't recommend Bluehost anymore, but SiteGround is my favorite hosting, and if you take any of their cPanel plans or shared hosting plans, you can install WordPress as well as any theme. On any WordPress installation, you can install any WordPress theme. Okay, so if you go, instead of working with WordPress, if you choose Squarespace or Shopify, you would have to check only the Squarespace and Shopify themes. So the theme is linked to the platform. Okay, and the hosting plan determines what platform you can install. Zoe says, this is where I'm stuck. I realized I was writing my about page for myself instead of my target market. Yes, yes, yes. In one of the later slides, I'm going to talk more about how to write your copy and your about page. I will come to that. That's what happens. You create this website for yourself. You think it's a work. As women, we don't often get a chance to express ourselves or be ourselves fully. Society has all of these restrictions and limitations and expectations imposed on us. So when you create a business, that's your passion, that's your dream, it starts off being all about you. And you try to, when you create your website, you want it to be an expression of yourself, which is all good. But you have to remember, this is a business, not a hobby. And your business website is not all about you. Instead, it is for your customers. Okay? Sarah says, a lot of people tell me how much they don't care about money, yet their energy is screaming for it. Exactly. People, it is fashionable to say that you don't care about the money. It is fashionable to say that, you're just doing this because you're so passionate. It's not about the money. But if if it's not about the money, then you don't need a business website. Then why aren't you happy? That's the question I ask them. Why do you want to grow it this way? Why do you want to do this? What's stopping you? And then they say it's the lack of funds that's stopping them, that they don't have the funds to create a website or hire a business coach or any of those things. And I'm like, but if the money doesn't matter to you, if you don't want to make more money using this, then why do you need a business website or a business coach or all of those things? Uh, it's just that we do not want to acknowledge to ourselves that we also want to make money doing the work that we love, because making money is considered bad. It's a bad thing. That's one of my favorite topics to talk about. I will refrain from going on more about that here. But yes, you have to remember this. If you are in business, be serious about your business. And part of a business is making money. Be honest and open about it. Okay. Okay, let's get back. More questions. Okay, I don't see any more coming in right now. Sorry. Okay, so quick recap. We talked about your target market. And why it's important to create your website and your brand for them, not all about you. Then we talked about step 2, which is the technology behind your website. That's the back end of your website. And now we are moving on to the front end of your website, the content, and how to use your brand, your design, your copy, etc. to lead the conversation. Okay, it's whether it's sales or marketing or even your website, the whole process should be like a conversation. It should be like you're talking to them. You are leading them through a conversation. It's not just one of those conversations you have at the grocery store and hi and bye. It's not that. It's about leading a meaningful conversation with them. Okay? And part of that is designing with purpose. When I say design with purpose, means be very clear about what you want that page to achieve. Now, people create a homepage just because everyone creates a homepage. They don't put a thought into what is the purpose of that homepage. What is the primary call to action for that homepage? In my website bootcamp and with my clients, I insist that we design with purpose. There is a purpose to every page, and are we meeting that purpose? That purpose could be getting them to sign up for a freebie, getting them to book a call with you, getting them to send you an email, or just sharing some information about yourself, or sharing a story, showing them a transformation, showing them what's possible. But every single page has to have a very specific purpose. Okay? And when it comes to translating that purpose on screen, I always say less is more. And you have to understand the flow or create a flow. Use the images, use the white spaces, use the words to lead that conversation, to create that flow. Okay, in the next slides, I'm going to show you how or what I mean by this, because when I just say it without showing you an actual image, it doesn't help, right? Okay, so before you jump into creating every page, write down somewhere what's the core purpose of each page. What is the call to action that you're going to have on that page? Make a rough sketch of how you want the layout to look like, and then only then go ahead with it. Don't just jump into WordPress and start creating, start typing out things and expecting it to fall in place. That doesn't happen. Lead the conversation. Be purposeful about it. Okay? This is one brilliant example that I love. When you see this page, this is a screenshot of the Yahoo page, the Yahoo homepage. What do you see? You see a lot of clutter, you see a lot of stuff, and you don't know where to look. It's very, very obvious that these people did not pay any attention to what they wanted as the core purpose of this page. Look what's happening to Yahoo now. And in comparison, look at the Google homepage. Right? What do you feel? What do you see? What do you think? It is so obvious. The only thing, what they want you to do is go and type in something and search for it. And you are drawn to that immediately, you will go in that immediately. Unlike the Google homepage, There is no wandering about anywhere and 20,000 things to browse through. This is a very purposeful page, a very simple design. It was very, very revolutionary when Google first came up with this. Right? At that time, people were trying to design like Yahoo, using up every pixel on screen. Instead, Google came up with a simple design that lets people do one thing and one thing only. And starting with that design and having a very simplistic model for their search engine back in 2000, back in the year 2000 when they started, see where it's taken them. Very, very simple core focused work. Here's another screenshot of a home page. How many of you can spot the Shop Now button? It took me quite a while to figure out where it is, because first instantly my eye is drawn here. I'm looking at this screen, How to Kill a Mockingbird, and it doesn't register that this is a book. And this website is threadless. It's about t-shirts. None of the graphics here helps me figure out that they're selling me t-shirts. Right? It's so strange. The first thing I go to is my eye is drawn to is this, and then this is the second thing my eye is drawn to. If I hadn't taken this screenshot and know that the Shop Now button is hidden here and there's another Shop Now over here, chances are I would have missed it completely. So you have about 3 to 5 seconds to grab someone's attention when they come to your website. People have very short attention spans in the digital age. And if they cannot find your Shop Now button or whatever your call to action is, within those 3 to 5 seconds, you have lost them. Do not make your sites like this. Okay, what are you guys thinking? What are you guys thinking? Please share. What do you think about these pages? Keep it coming. Keep the comments coming in. Okay. Now, in comparison, look at this page. There is one button. It's here. It's green. I am drawn to that button before I read anything else. And it's very simple. Forget Me Not. 4 million songs on Spotify have never been played. Not even once. Let's change that. So you instantly know that they're going to help you remember and find songs on Spotify. And that's it. Click here. Such a simple, clean, elegant design. Right? Now, that is how you use how you use design and copy to create a flow, to lead a conversation. This is like a very powerful, direct conversation in comparison to this one, which is something that goes all over the place and leaves me confused, wondering what the heck happened. Right? So, 1 minute, water break again. I used to find it embarrassing that I have to drink so much water on these webinars, but get used to it, please. Okay. So now how can you write copy that connects? So Zoe was asking about the copy earlier, right? And copy is a very important part of copy, design, go hand in hand. You have to use both of them together to create a certain flow on your web page. So here are a couple of direct guidelines that you can use to write copy for your target market. Okay. So first thing is, forget the rules that you were taught in grammar school or high school. My teacher taught me to write very politely, very formally, the way they write in newspapers, using indirect passive voice. And instead, on the web, especially when you are in a service-based business that is based on connection and authenticity, writing using the corporate language or using formal, indirect sentences does not help. So the simple rule is write like you talk. Try to write like you talk. If you say, when you are talking, you do not say, I can't do that. You don't say, I cannot do that. You don't use the full word cannot. You say, I can't do that. Write it that way. You don't have to use full word. Use abbreviations, use apostrophes, write like you talk. It's okay if it's, at least I think it's okay if it's not grammatically correct. I know the grammar Nazis hate that, but I prefer to write like you talk. And a simple rule to make that, to check whether you're doing that, or to check the level of connection your copy will have, is the you and I rule. Go and count the number of times you use the words you and I. Okay. Now, a thumb rule would be you should be used more often than the word I. If you say, if your copy, if your about page also keeps on saying, I am so awesome, I have these degrees, I did that, I help clients with this, I that, if you make it all about yourself, people are not going to be interested. So, there should be more use on your page, because when someone is reading it, it will feel to them that you are talking to them, right? So it should have a lot of use and less number of I's. Make it about them, not about I. Okay. And so these are rules of how to write. But what do you write about? What should the copy on your pages be about? Now, I have these 3 golden questions that I love and that I use to come up with copy for client websites, and this is what I tell them to use in the website bootcamp as well. Always remember these 3 golden questions and structure your homepage, your about page, your work with me page copy around this. Start with what they are struggling with or what they are feeling or experiencing right now. It doesn't necessarily have to be a struggle, but what they are feeling right now. Show them that you understand them, that you know where they are coming from and where they are at. Okay? Then talk about what they want. Okay? What is the end result that you will help them get? And third, why are you the best person to help them? Okay. Now, if you remember these 3 questions, you can use it for your home page, your about page, your work with me page. On your home page, I don't like a long home page, probably 2 or 3 screens, and therefore I will have about 2 lines on each of these topics. I will start with, are you feeling this way? Have you done this? Then we'll talk about, do you want this? And a bit about me. Now do I have the screenshot here? No, wait. Let me show you an example of this on an actual home page. Give me a minute, let me just switch. Okay, this is one of the designs that I install for people in my website in a box and also in the website bootcamp. So, do you see here the copy starts with, do you feel this way? Do you want XYZ? Now, when you start this way, it shows them, when you're talking, when you write down the exact pointers of how they are feeling or what they are struggling with, it makes an instant connection with your target market, with the people who are reading your website, because they know you get them. They know you understand them. Okay? People who are not your target market will not resonate with it, and that's fine. But your target market will. They were like, oh my God, how did she read my mind? And when you jump over and talk about what they want, they're like, yes. They're nodding along. Yes, oh my God, I want this. I want this. How did she read my mind? See, that's... and then a bit about yourself. I'm on a mission to do this, and talk about how and why you are the best person to help them. Now this is a great, so though the copy here is actually just placeholder, do you see how this kind of layout combined with the copy helps you create a certain flow and an instant connection with your target market? Do you see that? Nod along, give me some hearts please. Let me know you're still with me. And then on this page in particular, I go on to talk about the 3 ways that they can work with you, a couple of short testimonials, and the call to action here is really to get them to sign up for your opt-in. Now this is just one of the this is the homepage of one of the styles that I installed in the website bootcamp. A minute. Questions, ladies, so far? Okay, so to do a quick recap, for some reason Facebook has stopped showing me the comments. Let me quickly update. Okay, not happening. Okay. For some reason Facebook has stopped showing me. And now it's showing me live. Wait. Just a minute, I seem to have lost your comments. I closed that window. Hang on, I will come back to the questions. But let me do a quick recap for you. The 3 core pillars or the 3 core steps to creating your website. Number 1, make sure you know your target audience really well. Number 2, organize the tech backend. Now, if you sign up for my website bootcamp, I handle it all for you. Or you can just take the website in a box, which is $97. $97 is a really good bargain for all the tech, the few hundreds of hours of tech work you save. Number 3 is the the content. That's the front end of your website, using design and copy to create that flow to lead that conversation. Okay, so that's a quick recap of the 3 core steps. Now, here's the thing, how do you bring it all together? I highlighted the 3 top level steps, but there are a lot of sub steps that go into it. It does take a lot of work. Even for me today, it still takes about 40 to 50 hours of work to create a client website. For you as a newbie, it could take you much longer. Now, like I explained at the starting of this, the reason I still do websites is because everyone needs a website in business. You have to have a website. And I don't want you to struggle with that tech or to put off starting your business just because you do not have the tech ready for it. Okay, that's why I run the website bootcamp. Now the next live round of the website bootcamp starts 3rd of April, which is next week. And through 4 weeks, I will help you every single step of the way create a winning website. The kind of website that helps you sign up paying clients, right? In just 4 weeks. How it starts is that as soon as you sign up, I install a website in a box for you. What's the website in a box? It's a complete website with WordPress and Divi. Yes, Divi is included in the website bootcamp. It is included in all of the installs that you get. Okay, so you don't have to pay anything extra for Divi. I install WordPress plus Divi plus the 4 gorgeous styles I showed you somewhere earlier in this training. Plus the plugins, everything is installed for you. So your complete website is installed for you, and all you have to do is go in and personalize it and connect it to your PayPal, to your calendar, and those kind of things. So after the installs, we start with the video lessons over 4 weeks. Week 1, we focus on creating your brand and writing out your copy. Week 2 and 3, I show you how to go in and edit all of those pages. Choose one of the pages from the style, go and edit. Okay, how do you get the header image to look the way you want? How do you get the font to show up the way you want? Do you want a black, white color? Do you want to change the font style? How do you move the elements around? Since I've pre-installed a layout for you, and it is Divi. The power of using Divi is that you don't have to stick to the layouts I have installed for you. You can easily drag and drop, change a 3-column thing to a 2-column thing, add an extra row, remove a row. You can edit it however you want, really easy. And that's what we do in week 2 and 3. And in week 4, I help you polish it all up. How to create the right Facebook image shares for it, how to make sure that your website is mobile responsive, that you have the terms and conditions in place, all of those smaller things, dotting the I's, crossing the T's that you need to do. Okay, so there are how-to videos for all of this stuff. Plus, every week we will have 2 live support calls where I will answer your questions, where I will review all of the material you create. I will review your copy, I will review your pages, I will answer any questions. For example, if you're getting stuck with how to get some text to show up over an image, right? Or how to integrate your calendar, I will answer all of those questions in the live support calls. Now, if you have any questions, keep posting them in the Facebook comments. Though my comment box is right now closed and I don't seem able to refresh it, I will come back and answer your questions after this training. Okay? But that's not all. So yes, you get a website in a box, you get the how-to videos and training, and you get the live support calls. Beyond that, there is a lot of other stuff it takes to create a website. All the integrations. So that's why I have all of these bonuses for you. Now, a lot of people will have disappearing bonuses that, I will only give this to the first 20 people to sign up or the first 5 to sign up or something like that. I'm giving these to everyone. In the second round, I did not, and I realized later on that you need all of this stuff also. The resource list that I showed you earlier, how to use Canva to create the headers the way you want, how to set up MailChimp or MailerLite, I will be adding that now. Setting up Acuity to accept bookings online, connecting it to your website, understanding the numbers for your website, how many visitors, etc. Understanding SEO. You need all of this stuff also to make sure that your website is fully functional and you are making the most of it. So all of that is there in the bonus section. 1 minute. And as a very special bonus to say thank you for those of you who are watching me live, for the next 3 people to sign up after this call, I'm offering you a free one-on-one session, one-on-one consultation with me that you can use to either get any of your website doubts clarified or for any kind of copy or strategy help. Most of you know that I'm also a business strategist. That's my core area of expertise, helping you get clear about your target market, about your audience, your services, etc. Now these are some of the women from the earlier round of bootcamp who absolutely loved their one-on-one sessions. So with Ina, I helped her figure out how she can grow her services from one-on-one to group and use that to scale her business to the level she wants. Because beyond a point, one-on-one burns you out. With Beth, it was again helping her get clear on her offerings and how to reach the right kind of people to see the value in her own offerings. With Kim had a lot of website related questions, and in 1 hour I walked her through everything else that she needed to do or upscale on her website, and it was so awesome. So for those of you who are watching live, remember this is a very special bonus for the next 3 ladies who join in. My one-on-one consults are normally at $300 an hour. So this is a very special thank you for those of you who are watching me live. The next 3 people to book into the bootcamp will get a special one-on-one call with me. Okay. What else? Any questions? Keep the questions coming in. I'm going to try and refresh the page, and I will stay on for another 10-15 minutes just to answer any questions you may have. And let me talk a bit more about the website bootcamp. Okay, like I said, this is the sales page for the website bootcamp. Here's the link. You can go and check it out. Now, let me also walk you through the different styles that we have. So I showed you one of these pages. This is one of the home pages that I installed for you. This is another. You see in this page right up here, we have this is a link to their landing page. So immediately the first thing, the main call to action here is for people to sign up for your freebie. And if you notice, everywhere on the pages that I installed, there are prompts that you can which tell you what the image size is, what to write there. So you don't really have to worry about your copy. Placeholders are there, the prompts are there. You can go in, think about, you can answer these questions and write them down. That's the beauty of having these templates installed for you. All the pointers, everything that I talked about in writing your copy, the pointers are all there already in these layouts. So it's a bit like color by numbers. You just go in and fill in what you want. You go in, change the image, change the link here, you're done. It's that simple. That's how simple I make creating your own website. That's why women love the website bootcamp. When you go to the sales page, you can check out the links. There are links to each of those pages so you can see what the styles look like. And I know it's my program and I've been bragging about it because I love it so much, but you don't have to take my word for it. Go and check out what the past participants had to say. Most of them started out saying that they are technophobes, that they can't figure out the tech behind their website, that they don't know what to write on their pages, that they have been trying for years and they got stuck. But in 3 to 4 weeks in the website bootcamp, all of them walked away with gorgeous websites, not just gorgeous websites, but winning websites. Go take a look here. So you've got Monica, who's a relationship coach, Kim, who's a nutritionist, and I think what Monica's one of the things that Monica pointed out, Richa knows what to prioritize and what to leave out. I think that is so important because you will see a lot of courses out there on how to create your website that get you entangled in the tech, or that only focus on the copy, or only focus on the branding. Now the thing is, you are not studying to become a web developer or a copywriter. You need to know only as much as is required to create your own website, right? And that's why in the website bootcamp, I give you clear, actionable videos. No more, no less. I don't drown you in a lot of theory or unnecessary stuff. There is only as much as you need to create your website. Okay. We've also got Amy from Australia. She really, when her first chat with me was that she knows nothing about technology and she has no clue how to get a website up, but she wanted to help her husband who was starting who'd bought a new dentistry business. So she signed up, and in 3 weeks flat she had such a gorgeous website. You can go and check it out here. Then there's Tamsin, who had a website but it wasn't working the way she wanted to, and once she got the installations done, she just loved the templates. It was like she was so over the moon excited that she didn't have to think about what to write or where to put the headings or the images. It was all laid out for her. That's the power of using these templates to start with. These are a starting point. You can, since it's all in Divi, you can change them, you can customize them, you can do whatever you want. So you want, instead of 3, you want 2 only, go ahead, remove it. You don't want this section at all, go ahead, remove it. You want to add in another image here, go ahead, add it. That's the power of these designs. They are just the starting point. You can personalize them however you want. And when you go and look at these people's websites, you will see how they have personalized those websites. Okay. You will also find a lot of many gray-haired women on the boot camp, and I absolutely love it because again, each of these started off saying, Beth especially had started off saying, I felt I wasn't of the generation who could do these things. I had a huge tech barrier. Now go check out her website. Leona, again, week 2 she started and she had 10 pages created in 1 week. It was amazing. So I have seen these women I have seen the transformation these women went through, from being technophobes to now being hands-on about their website. They have been in touch with me since they completed bootcamp, and every time they have a question, okay, how do I do this stuff? And now it's to the stage where I can just give them a few pointers and they can go and create fancy things on their website should they require them. It's so amazing. Okay. So there is also an FAQ section here. I will also be doing a live FAQ Q&A on my page tomorrow at about the same time. So if you have any questions about the bootcamp, join me there for the live Q&A session. But the special bonus only holds for the next 3 people who sign up for the bootcamp. I will keep your comments coming, keep your questions coming. I'm going to now sign off from the Facebook Live and go and answer all of those comments and questions. Thank you for joining me live. I hope this gave you a better idea of how to go about creating your website. I know I talked a lot about the website bootcamp. That's because I love the program so much and I know it can save you a few hundred hours of website agony. But beyond the website bootcamp, even if you choose not to sign up for the website bootcamp, I do hope that this training gives you a good idea of what you need to focus on as you go about creating your own website. Okay? Comes back to 3 basic things. Know your target market. Choose the proper tech backend. Make sure that your front end isn't just content, but it actually leads a meaningful conversation with your people. Okay? Thanks for joining me live. Till next time. Bye-bye.